Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden funded and trained the Mujahideen in Afghanistan against the government. The US spent an astonishing amount of $2.3 trillion on the Afghanistan war.
Around $2.26 trillion. That's how much America spent in Afghanistan. In other words, $300 million a day.
The Soviet army has entered into the Afghanistan to support the communist government. One of the most infamous civil wars, the Afghanistan crisis. But how did it start? In 1933, the last king of Afghanistan, Zahir Shah, sat on the throne and ruled for 40 years. He modernized Afghanistan, developed infrastructure, introduced constitution and democratic reforms. Those were the peaceful days for Afghanistan. Then, on 17th July 1973, when Zahir Shah was in Italy for his treatment, his cousin and also brother-in-law, Daoud Khan, led the coup and overthrew the Zahir Khan and declared Afghanistan as republic, abolished the monarchy, and made himself the president with the support of military and civilians. Then, Daoud Khan established the one-party rule in Afghanistan, which many saw as oppressive. Daoud Khan was focusing only on developing bigger cities and ignoring the small ones. In the few months of rule, poverty was rising and inflation was increasing. To counter this, several groups in Afghanistan made a political party, PDPA, People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, a communist party backed by the USSR. After facing suppression for some years, in 1978, PDPA overthrew and killed Daoud Khan in the violent coup. PDPA introduced several reforms for secular education, women's rights, and land reforms. But these reforms clashed with Afghanistan's deeply Islamic and tribal society. This triggered a massive uprising all over Afghanistan. Villagers and religious leaders lifted the weapons to protect their faith and tradition and formed groups. These groups were known as the Mujahideen. By 1979, the PDPA was failing to control these chaos, so they called the Soviet Union for help. Thousands of Soviet tanks and soldiers entered into Afghanistan to protect the communist government. To curb the Soviet expansion, the USA, along with Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, backed the Mujahideen and provided them with weapons and fundings. The USA also trained these rebellions in Pakistan. Mujahideen became heroes for fighting with the Soviets. One of them was Osama bin Laden, who came to help with money and fighters. Afghanistan became the proxy battlefield for the USA and Soviets, fighting each other but using Afghans as pawns. By the mid-1980s, over 5 million Afghans fled to Pakistan and Iran. After the 10 years of Soviet-Afghan war, Afghanistan, USSR, US, and Pakistan signed an agreement in 1988, which stated that the USSR would withdraw all its troops and US and Pakistan would stop funding the Mujahideens. In 1989, all Soviet troops left Afghanistan, but the communist government was still in power. But this was only the beginning of Afghanistan's endless civil war. In Part 2, we will cover how Mujahideen kicked out the communists.